Ahead of the 2027 presidential election and barring any last minute change, the much touted coalition to unseat President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is said to have endorsed the African Democratic Party, which is the ADC, as a political party to be used in this election, the 2027 election.
Yes.
Now, before I even go into talking about the ADC or asking about the ADC, considering Nigeria's history with failed coalitions like the 2013 merger that birthed APC, that is now experiencing internal cracks, do you believe that a coalition built on defeating a person and not ideology can survive post-election?
We are even talking about post-election. Let's talk about now. Immediate look back at the coalition, we discovered that the most successful coalition happens to be that which produced the APC, and that wouldn't have been possible but for elements in the ruling party defecting at a very strategic time. They calculated their defection, talking about the new PDP led by Atiku Abubakar and the then governor of Rivers State, talking about Rotimi Amechi. And that cut across different sections of the country. And they walked out of the National Convention and then went and pledged allegiance to ACN, CPC, and part of ANPP, and ANPP then. And that gave them the leeway to assess power. If elements in the PDP did not defect, there's no way the number one opposition forces in the country, having to talk about ACN and in the ACN generally in the southwest, and then CPC in the north. The two gladiators then were Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the ACN and Muhammadu Buhari of the CPC. It wasn't really the party CPC that was Muhammadu Buhari. Muhammadu Buhari was the core kind of court figure who had a followership. And then in Southwest, we talk about Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They would never, and they had never succeeded before, to come close. But that merger gave that to them. So looking at 2027, the scenario is likely going to be different from just looking at the merger of the coalition of Peter Obi in Labour Party and Obedient Movement. Peter Obi has two camps, the Labour Party and the Obedient Movement. And then Atiku Abubakar, who is supposed to be the leader of PDP, but he lost it because of how he has mismanaged his political decisions. And Wike took over everything and is holding them to ransom. So we may look at a new PDP leaving PDP to merge with Labour or part of Labour, because Labour doesn't really exist without Peter Obi. There's nothing like Labour Party. And now you look at El-Rufai, who moved to SDP, which one of his maybe associates complained that he left too early from APC, that he would have stayed back in APC for them to strategically move en masse and to give that weight. But like the person that spoke, he said maybe he had his own reason for leaving so early, because SDP, from what we have heard and learned from the public, from such sections, was actually set up by one of the biggest forces in the country as an alternative platform in case his party did not give him ticket in 2023. So SDP may not be as free as some people may think. It could have been a political vehicle set aside by somebody who is even in power now. So look at El-Rufai. He is a voice. You cannot deny that. Yes. Peter Obi, Atiku. But what are we looking at? Like Peter Obi has said, he's not interested in any coalition whose aim is just for power grabbing, which is actually what APC has been about right from the onset. And that has been owned up by Fayemi, that it does appear from what they were also planned was to have the APC as a power grabbing machine, but he's unfulfilled because what they should have done to help the people, they have failed. That is obvious. And then within the APC, there are people that are there. They are still there, but their heart is not with the APC, and they are likely to pull the kind of surprise that some person wonder, is it really true?